Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Further, of course, good morning to all of you, my colleague ministers, our friends from the Ministry of Public Works and the acting local government commissioner, and the media, and of course the residents of Dominica. First, I want us to be mindful of the approaching Hurricane Florence, which will be impacting the Carolinas. So let us pray for our American friends, especially those who will be in the path of Hurricane Florence. We can well imagine their own anxieties and their own preoccupations, but we'll continue to pray for them that the hurricane will weaken and that impact on life and property would not be an issue for them. So let us all continue to pray for them while we pray for ourselves as well, because we're very grateful to the Lord for having this weather system downgraded now to a tropical storm warning, moving from a hurricane watch yesterday to tropical storm warning today. But again, as we would like to reiterate to the public, these occurrences should not be, our response should not be to be less alert and determined to make all the preparations necessary for this weather system. Again, we know we could go back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, with Tropical Storm Erica and the impact it had on life and property in our country. The serious destruction which it caused, to the point where we had to relocate an entire village. So we can appreciate this. It transformed the lives in Kolibistri and many of those communities in Pishley and elsewhere. So we need to appreciate the fact that, notwithstanding it is a tropical storm warning, we have to prepare for the fullest extent. Again, the system, the same way it changed from last night to today, the same way it can change in the next few hours and upgrade it. And therefore, our preparation must be the same as it is a Category 5 approach in our country. And again, from the NEPO level, from the National Emergency Planning Organization level, and from the Office of Disaster Management level, we are taking every precautionary measure humanly possible to prepare our country for this approaching weather system. So I would like us to continue our planning, our individual family level planning. The business community must take note and take heed to secure their own assets and properties. Private citizens must do likewise. We must continue to reach out to the senior citizens, the sick and shortened, the vulnerable in our communities. Let us account for every single person in our village, in our community, in our surrounding. All of these things are part of the planning process or the preparatory process. So we need to play our part as individuals. I have been advised and we have taken the decision and we have accepted the advice to suspend work for the public service on Thursday, 13th September. So there'll be no work for public officers. And again, we would like to call on the private sector to follow in that same manner, to have their employees stay home. I understand that there are essential services, and those essential services will be at work. So people like myself will be at work, but the rest of us in the public service are asked to stay home and to ensure that we can secure ourselves, secure our families and our properties. And we'd like for the private sector to do the same. And this is why I think going forward, we have to implement legislation that would authorize the NEPO and the cabinet to, that when a decision will be taken in regards to work, it would apply to every employee in the country. So these are things that we need to do in terms of disaster management going forward. And it's a recommendation we're hoping that we can fulfill before the end of this year. So there'll be no work tomorrow. In respect to the security of the state, I shall meet again with the Chief of Police at 2:15 today, and at 5:30 we shall advise the country of some of the security arrangements that will be put in place to secure our citizens and to secure state assets and other private citizens' assets in the country. So at 5:30 the police will have a briefing, and the Chief of Police will speak to some of the actions that the police will take to secure the state. Now, we all agree the police has a responsibility and a duty to provide and ensure security of the state. But at the end of the day, security of anyone or any group or any country is a societal responsibility. And we all need to play our part in securing our properties, securing ourselves, and securing the state. The police will play a part, but we all have to play our part in that regard. So when actions and decisions are taken by the police, we have a responsibility and a duty and an obligation to listen to them, to follow them. So I would like to call on every one of us to respect the authority of the police and to respect the decisions that will be taken by the police to help secure the state. So I want to again appeal to all of us to secure our properties. Those of us who have boats, we need to secure the boats, because do not leave your boat unattended and believe that the government will come in to replace your boat because of your negligence. You have animals, if your animals are close to waterways and in areas that are prone to flooding and landslides and mudslides, you need to bring them into safer ground. These are your livelihoods, and therefore you have a responsibility, a personal responsibility, to secure your livelihoods. Again, let us do what we need to do as a country. Let us play our part, and let us prepare ourselves. Let us continue to pray, because with prayer all things are possible. I know some of us are overwhelmed with anxiety, reliving our own personal experiences during Maria. But we have to try to remain calm, and we must continue to support each other so that we can all see this process with minimal or no anxiety at all. And it is not a time for us to hide in a room. We have to do what we need to do to prepare ourselves. Again, the source of information, the source of advice is the Office of Disaster Management and the National Emergency Planning Organization. Let us focus on the information coming from there, and because there will be lots of information out in the public which normally causes confusion in the minds of people. So let us focus on the official channels of communication to the country. So again, I want to thank us for all of you for your cooperation and understanding. Let us recognize that the state has to do what it has to do. And finally, for those who are wondering whether I am speaking from Roseau or elsewhere, I'm in fact in Roseau, Dominica, and not any other Roseau in the world. I am here in Dominica. I was on my way to India to have some meetings there on some very important matters, but canceled my trip in transit to return to be part of the preparation of the country for this approaching weather system. So I'm in Roseau. I know there is a Roseau in St. Lucia and so on and elsewhere, but I'm in Roseau, Dominica. Thank you, and God bless you. In these things, I always tell people that when you're faced with anxious moments, you have to smile, and you have to also engage yourself in a few jokes here and there. That will help you ease your anxieties. So a little domino, a little card playing and so forth. Not to take it too seriously as some people do, but do it more in a jovial manner. That will help you manage your anxieties. And as we go along, I'm doing serious things, because preparing for a storm is a serious thing. And but in the process, we have to calm our nerves and so that will manage our anxiety levels and not allow it to overwhelm us, because if we allow anxiety to overwhelm us, we become paralyzed. And if you become paralyzed mentally and physically, it means therefore you cannot move, or you cannot maneuver yourself in the way that you should maneuver yourself to do what you need to do. And mental paralysis is a thing that we have to avoid and we have to manage very carefully. Thank you.